Welcome to Intro to Art. Today is May 14th. As always, make sure you have a paper, pencil, and an eraser for some notes. We did a check-in earlier, so if it stayed the same, you don't have to let me know how you are right now, but if you want to, go ahead and type it into the chat box. Today's objective is for you to place simple geometric shapes in a specific pattern or at an angle. And that can add to the realism and detail of an object, as well as create interest and the illusion of depth. So we'll explain what that means a little bit more. But right now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and look at the do now for today. And let me actually turn off my speaker for now, because I don't know how. Okay, can you still hear me?
Yes. Can you hear Victor?
Yeah. No. All right, so for the lesson for today, oh, well, it's not supposed to start just yet. But the do now is asking you about some lyrics, and the lyrics that I selected for today were, it says, reach for the stars, so if you fall, you could land on a cloud. And remember, you have to answer the question, what do you understand from these lyrics? What might they mean? And then how can you relate them to your life? Hopefully it plays. I want you to hear the song and where it's from. This is a Kanye West song.
This is why I'm here and I can't come back home. And guess when I heard that, when I was back home, every interview.
So reach for the stars, so if you fall, you could land on a cloud. Let's see.
Jump in the crowd.
I did not mean to do that. So today what we're gonna do is a pocket watch. So I want you to create a detailed open stopwatch based on simple geometric shape guidelines. Again, I think for this one, it gives you a very basic shape, and it's not gonna look exactly like this, but we're gonna work on it the best we can. So our vocabulary for today is angle. So this is something that hopefully you do know because we've been doing this in geometry. So it's a figure formed by two planes diverging from a common line, right? So we have this, that's an angle, that's at an angle. Angle refers to the space between lines or surfaces, and it could also refer to direction or point of view. So it can also mean like at the angle you look at something from. So maybe you're looking at something from down low, it'll look different than if you look at something from up high. So those are different angles. Perspective, so the perspective is a technique used to create the illusion of 3D onto a 2D surface. Perspective helps to create a sense of depth or receding space. So that's what we looked at last time in our last class too. We looked at perspective. It makes things look 3D. And then Roman numerals. For this one, do you know what Roman? Okay, so they're the numeric system in ancient. So they use this in ancient Rome, and then they use these combinations of letters from the Latin alphabet to signify values. So they each have they're each represented by the Latin alphabet, but they really represent numbers. Okay. So, ooh, that's not supposed to say cupcake treats because that is not what we're working on. I accidentally didn't update that. We're doing pocket watches. So our first step is to start with a circular shape. Slow down if you need me to slow down at any point. Now, okay. What was that?
Okay.
Okay. Add another shape around it and make sure it's skinnier at the top and wider at the bottom. So we're gonna start off skinny. And then at the bottom, it gets a bit wider. And I guess it starts to add the 3D appearance to it.
Okay.
Now we add another circle. So same thing, skinny at the top, wider at the bottom. Well, I struggled way more with that circle, but hey. Now we're gonna add, well, it jumped from 3 to 4. That's a big step, but let's go what the original image should look like.
It's kind of on the side, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, so it's just showing like a close-up of what this needs to look like. Okay, now I see. Yeah, it's on the side down here. So we're gonna do a rectangle, but make sure that the rectangle is kind of overlapping the circle, little rectangle. We're gonna make an oval. And a little square. And then we're gonna go ahead and add the bigger ovals, but they're still smaller than the actual watch. So it looks like that. Obviously, hopefully yours looks a lot better. Okay. Okay, so for the next step, all you're gonna do is you're gonna make your next oval, but notice it overlaps a bit. So it's not an oval where it's just attached, it kind of goes over right there.
Mm-hmm.
See how it goes into it? So when you make it, make sure that it overlaps a bit. Make sure it's not too small either, because then it'll look a little bit awkward. Now, once you have that, oops, let me erase that. You're gonna go ahead and add another oval around the cover. So just like we did.
Is that your computer or mine?
It's
Making
mine.
that
I'm getting
green.
emails from
Oh, okay.
Joel's of submitting assignments.
Okay.
So,
I thought it was mine.
oh no. That around. And now you're gonna go ahead and draw a long skinny cylinder, so like this. But you're not gonna draw it there, instead we're gonna draw it here. So I know that mine looks very messy because again, I'm using a completely different tool than a paper and pencil, but you're gonna draw it in this general area. That's where you draw your cylinder. And then you draw and at an angle, so not up and down, not left and right, not sideways. And then you draw a center of the circle. And now you write numbers in sequence around the outer clock face, and you add a 3D edge to the center circle. So to the center circle, you can add a little edge right there. Okay. And then we're gonna add Roman numerals around it. So you would go 1, 2. Try to make it as close as possible to a real clock, meaning across the 1, you should have the 6. Here we should have, oh, wait, what am I talking about? No, we should not have the 6 across the 1. It should be a 12. Let me fix it because.
Let's see. 3 minus 2. It's kind of hard to do it with the Roman numerals.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yours is still, yeah, that doesn't look too bad.
3, and then this would be 9. once you have those, the base at least, 12, 3, 6, and 9, we can fill in the gaps. So 1, 2, and then we go
Mm-hmm.
4, 5. We have 6, 7,
8.
8,
Yeah.
9, 10. Woo, got it.
What happened to 11 and 12?
Oh, wait, right there, 11 and 12. I already have
What is 11? 11.
Mhm. Right here.
Yes. Okay.
And we can add the little details such as the,
The hand. Mhm.
and we can make it fancy looking, a large one, and we can make a smaller one. We can add a chain to this just by making little like circular beads. I'm just gonna, just for the sake of time right now. And then you would go ahead